The Chris Haynes Zone. This is why I'm Chris. 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 This is why I'm Chris.
I'm hot cause I'm
Chris Haynes.
ain't cause you not.
This is why I'm Chris.
I'm hot cause I'm
Chris Haynes.
ain't cause you not.
This is why I'm Chris. We gon' keep it poppin' in the Chris Haynes Zone.
Welcome to the Chris Haynes Zone on HaynesHoops.com. One thing I want to talk about right now is people jumping off the bandwagon of Brandon Roy, and rightfully so. You know, career low, 12 points per game, was absent for the most part of the season, came back half the shell of himself. But, you know, all we had to go on was Game 3 and Game 4 to give us some optimism that he possibly can return to form next year. And I'm here to tell you that Brandon Roy will return to form next year. If you think about it, you know, you think about just the Game 3 and Game 4, people want to say he basically did that on one leg. I don't know. I think he's personally healthy, but I think right now he's rusty. He doesn't have a lot of games under his belt to keep doing it consistently. And you still need a player like that of Brandon Roy's caliber on your team. And people want to jump on the bandwagon to talk about trading him. Now, if I'm Rich Cho, like I wrote in my column earlier, you know, you put his name out there dangling to see, you know, what'll come about. But the guy's getting, you know, 15, 16 million over the next couple of years. So no team is going to take a chance on that. So I would be happy with keeping Brandon Roy on the team and making him a focal point of the offense next year. You know, he gives him the whole summer to get better, to rehab, get his game back to form. I think Brandon Roy will be ready. And look at this. You think about Game 4 when the Blazers made that comeback against the Dallas Mavericks. Whose hands did you want that ball in? You wanted it in Brandon Roy's hands. Even though LaMarcus Aldridge did a tremendous job in Brandon Roy's absence and just playing tremendous ball and should have been an all-star selection, was not. But you still want Brandon Roy. He's still a threat deep in the games. And that being said, the reason I say that is because when you think about somebody taking over a game in the last 10 seconds of a game, who do you want the ball in? Most likely the coach and the teammates want that ball in the guard's hands. Why? Because he can see the court, he can drive, he has so many options, he can penetrate, take the ball up himself. You don't really think about a post player getting the ball in the last 10 seconds of the game. You know what I mean? It's just real. You limit yourself. You put the ball in the post player's hands 5 seconds in the game. You know, he really doesn't see the floor, and so his only option really is to shoot and do something. But a guard, when he has the ball, he gets to the top of the key, see the whole floor, he can survey the whole court, and he can see what defense is coming at him. And that's what Brandon Roy has. He's one of the best passers, and, you know, has some of the best eyes in the NBA. So when he's on top of his game, you need a player like that, or closer. You need a closer type player like Brandon Roy to come through for you, like he did in Game 3 and Game 4. So what I'm saying right now is, don't jump off the bandwagon of Brandon Roy. He still has game left. When he's healthy, he's better. Don't get me wrong, he's better. He's way better. And I'll put it like that. He's way better than Wesley Matthews. I'm sorry, Wesley Matthews, defensive presence, had a stellar offensive season, and only in his second year he has a lot of growth, and, you know, he has the time to grow and become a better player. But as of right now, we need Brandon Roy in there. We need him starting for next year. Last thing, LaMarcus Aldridge. People ask me, how will LaMarcus Aldridge take that coming back next year? How would he take being back devoted to the second option? LaMarcus Aldridge was thrilled to have Brandon Roy back to relieve all that pressure off of him. You know, LaMarcus Aldridge benefits off of Brandon Roy. LaMarcus Aldridge, even though he had a stellar season and his stats went up tremendously when Brandon Roy went out, the play and the confidence that LaMarcus has now would just benefit his game more with Brandon Roy coming back to true form. And so now you have Brandon Roy penetrating, looking for LaMarcus Aldridge more, and now Brandon Roy has more confidence in LaMarcus than before. So I think it's just a match made in heaven. So Brandon Roy, stay on the bandwagon. Brandon Roy will come back to form, and he'll be an all-star next year. Mark my word. Thanks for coming to the Chris Haynes Zone on HaynesHoops.com.